Today, we're going to turn these 3 books into these 3 books. My name is Bethany, and this is Joyful Habits. Hey everyone, this is Bethany. Welcome back to Joyful Habits. I know I've been a little MIA for a while. Unfortunately, I have been recovering from a surgery, but everything's okay. I'm doing much better now, and I'm very excited to be back at creating and sharing it with you all. We are now in a new season. Last time I saw you, we were all about winter, but now we are in the season of spring, and I'm very excited for that. I know weather can still be all over the place for March and April. I know for us personally, we've had beautiful days where it was in the 60s Fahrenheit, but then, we got a giant snowstorm like 2 weeks ago. So it's been a little crazy, but I don't mind because I know that every day we're moving closer and closer to sunnier days and warmer weather. So I had a little time today and I thought I would pull out one of my tea sets. This one that you're looking at here with the purple flowers is actually from my grandmother. And then I put out a pretty tablecloth, pulled out this vase of lavender flowers to sort of match the tea set. And I knew I wanted to do something crafty, but nothing too crazy. I was feeling kind of tired, just wanted to relax and make something. So looking at my bookshelf, I have some books that are very pretty and then some books that are just sort of normal or average, I guess. I don't think they're ugly, but I definitely think they could be embellished, we'll say. And so that's when I had the fun idea of how can I make new covers for these books. So we're going to try 3 different methods, I guess you could say, today. And the first one is just covering it with fabric. Fun fact, you may end up seeing this fabric again, this blue fabric with the white polka dots, because I actually bought this fabric, like 2 years ago now for a completely different video idea, which I'm going to get to eventually. It's a summer video idea and I'm really excited for it. And I've kind of been sitting on the materials for a while, so I don't know, maybe this is going to be the summer that I finally get to it. So stay tuned. This fabric may make another appearance. So I just have some Mod Podge here and I'm just, acting like it's a glue because I guess Mod Podge is a glue. And I'm just covering the book and then covering it with fabric. Making sure to smooth out all the wrinkles and any air pockets. And then I just wanted to make sure to define that crease by the spine of the book, and I grabbed a butter knife to help me with that. I really like this fabric. I feel like it's very, cheery. I like the color. I like the dots on it. And I thought it was very springy, very summery, light and airy. I don't know, I liked it. So yeah, that's why I chose it. And also because I already had it on hand and didn't have to buy anything. So that was nice. So now that I've glued the fabric to the book, I'm just cutting all the excess and also cutting into the corners. And that way when we go to fold everything into the book or let's see, how do I say this? When we go to fold the fabric so that it folds to the, I don't know why this is so hard for me to explain all of a sudden. we're folding it into the book, so it's on the inside cover of the book, and then we're gonna glue it. So I'm sure you guys all already knew we were going to do that. This is not necessarily a revolutionary idea, but anyway, you'll see in a minute here. So yeah, I'm just, spreading the Mod Podge on the inside of the book, and then we're going to fold the fabric in like so. And again, I was just trying to make sure everything was really tight and pulled taut, and then everything was like smoothed out and there weren't a lot of air bubbles or anything like that. And then just trim if you have any excess still. I just kind of trimmed around until it looked really clean. Also, a quick note, make sure that your Mod Podge dries before you close your book, because if not, it could accidentally glue your book together. So just a little thing to remember. Okay, and now for the spine, which you'll see that I again cut 2 little slits, and that way we can fold that little extra piece of fabric into the spine. Now most books will have a gap between all those pages and then the actual hard cover of the book. So what I did is I put a little bit of the Mod Podge, folded the fabric in, and then I grabbed a butter knife to push that fabric into that gap that's between the, like I said, the hardcover and then the pages. And this just really helps the book to look really clean and like it actually, looks like this, not like, oh, you glued fabric on a book, So yeah, it just helps it look really clean. And then to cover up, where I had folded in the fabric, I put some more Mod Podge, and then I took that extra page, which was that pretty blue and looked really nice, I thought, with the fabric, and just press that onto the cover so that it covers it up. And there we go, we're all done with our first book. I really love how this turned out. It's very simple, but it's really cute. I like it. So as I say in every video, you know what I'm gonna say. The possibilities are endless. So obviously, you could use whatever kind of fabric you wanted. You could even add lace or buttons or embroidery or jewels, beads, I don't know, like whatever, string. You could draw on it. Again, you could literally do anything. Anything. You could do multiple fabrics. You could do maybe a solid color to cover the entire book, but then kind of layer different patterns. Maybe even cover it in like a quilt. That'd be kind of fun. Like make a mini quilt and then put that on the book. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but again, get creative, have fun with it. If you have a certain theme or, decor style that you want to go with, yeah, just have fun. Okay, next up, I have this little notebook. And I've had this notebook for a while. I got it for Christmas years and years ago in my stocking. And it's a great notebook. I got nothing against it. I just, I don't know. I thought the cover was kind of bright for my taste. So I was like, how can we make this more, I don't know, country, cottagecore, nature-ish themed. So I grabbed some packing material that I had saved from a package, cut out a piece to fit the notebook, and then very similar to what we did with the book, except with paper, I just used the Mod Podge to glue it and fold it in. Now, I definitely could have, put a little more effort into this and cut slits so it would fit between the spiral on the notebook a little better. However, I was, again, just having kind of a relaxing afternoon. I wasn't really trying to go all out or anything, and also this notebook is on its last like 20 pages, so I don't know. I just felt like this was good. This was good for what I wanted it for, and I liked it. But yeah, you'll see that you can still kind of see the old cover sticking out by where the spiral is. But again, I didn't really mind. I thought it was fine. Okay, and so I thought about drawing on it. I thought about painting. I thought about stamps. And then I thought, you know what? It's spring, and spring makes me think of flowers, and why not use some pressed flowers? So again, just taking a little bit of that Mod Podge, I put it on the notebook, and then I just started to decorate it with the flowers. I honestly thought I was going to use a lot more of the flowers, but I don't know, I just really ended up liking the simplicity of having that one baby's breath in the middle and then calling it a day. Which I was a little disappointed with because I kind of wanted to use all the flowers. I really love daisies. Daisies are my favorite flower, so I wanted to use the daisies, but I tried arranging them around with the baby's breath and it just looked too cluttered, or it didn't quite look right, and I don't know, I did like the simplicity of just the one flower in the middle, so I'm gonna have to find another project so we can use those daisies. So yeah, stay tuned. They will probably make a reappearance in another video as well. Okay, and now for our third book, we are pulling the fabric back out, but this time we're putting a little more effort in. This is definitely the book that or the book cover, I should say, that I put the most effort into. This notebook with the leather cover, I do actually like it. I like it's not real leather, but I do like it. And so I didn't want to just glue fabric to it. I wanted this cover to be something I could take on and off. So I was like, okay, so we're going to be doing some sewing then. We're going to put the glue away and we're going to pull out the needle and thread. And then I was trying to decide how to decorate it, and I thought, why not do some embroidery? So with my pencil, my little branch pencil there, which if you like that, I'll have that linked in the description box below, as well as anything else in this video that I can think of. But with that branch pencil, I went ahead and drew some vines and a little design that I liked, and then I just followed that design with my thread. I used a green embroidery thread and then a little bit of a darker green to embroider the leaves on. I really liked how this looked, but I definitely felt like it needed to be brightened up a bit. So I picked out some really pretty, like, baby blue embroidery thread, and I embroidered a whole bunch of flowers all around the vine. I really liked how that looked, and I thought this is where it was going to end, but you'll see later on I ended up pulling out some pretty cream or white colored thread, and I put some more flowers because I just felt like the green was really dark. Like, the green was quite green, so I just felt like it needed to be brightened up a bit. Okay, and now instead of folding the fabric in like we did with the other book and gluing it, we're folding it in and sewing it, like I said, because I wanted this to be something that I could take on and off and wasn't permanent. So I went ahead and folded it in and then pinned it so it would stay in place. And then I just grabbed some more embroidery thread and very quickly, not trying to be perfect here by any means, just sewed it so that way it created a little pocket for the cover of the book to slide into. Okay, and now to figure out how to continue to decorate, because I loved the vine border, but it was very empty in the middle, so how to figure out how to fill that in. I thought about doing some more embroidery, but I kind of wanted something 3D. I wanted to like put something on the book. So I pulled out those pressed flowers again, and again, I wanted to use the daisies because I love daisies, but I just really liked the baby's breath. I thought that looked really nice. So, yeah, so I went with that. So I grabbed 2 of those, and then I liked that, but again, I felt like it needed something more. So I grabbed that really pretty baby blue embroidery thread I had been using, and I tied a ribbon around the flower to make it look like a little bouquet of flowers with a ribbon. And I really liked that. I thought that looked really nice, and I decided to leave the extra ribbon really long so it would hang all the way down the book. And you'll see that I went back and added the white flowers, embroidering that along the vine, because I felt like the blue picked up on the blue ribbon on the flowers, and then the white flowers would pick up on the white of the baby's breath. So fun fact, this notebook is actually the notebook that I take notes in when I'm learning the Greek language with my Greek grandfather. So yeah, it's a special notebook. Now, this notebook has had some use, so it was very easy for me to get to that gap between the pages in the book cover because it was ripped. So there you go. And this notebook came with the brown ribbon for a bookmark. But again, I felt like that was kind of dark. I didn't want to take it out, but I thought, well, I can just add another ribbon bookmark over top, and then I'll have 2, so there you go. Yeah, so I had some white ribbon, and I just glued that into the spine, and then pulled it down with the other bookmark, and I thought it looked really nice. Overall, I'm super happy with how this one turned out, and I think I'm probably going to end up doing this for a few other books of mine because it was just really fun, and I love how it looks. I've got it displayed on my bookcase now. And yeah, and that's the other thing I had the idea for, is if I end up taking this off of my notebook, I could very easily frame this. Like, how pretty would that be framed? Like a pretty wooden frame, glass over top. I thought that would actually just be a really pretty piece of artwork. So for now, it's displayed on my bookcase, but I honestly kind of feel like I'm gonna end up taking it off the book and finding a pretty frame for it and putting it up on my wall somewhere. And then I'll just make another one for the notebook. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just make another one and I'll frame that one. But I definitely felt like this would be really pretty artwork, and yeah. So there you have it. We took 3 books, or 2 books in a little notebook, spiral notebook, and embellished them, made them pretty. I had a lot of fun with this. I really enjoyed too how simple it was, very relaxing. Again, the possibilities are endless. You could literally do anything, any type of fabric, any type of embroidery, any type of embellishment, any colors that you wanted. So yeah, take a look at your bookcase at home, and maybe there's a book or 2 that you'd like to give a makeover to. If you enjoyed today's video, I'd be really thankful if you would like the video, and if you want to, say hi in the comments. I always love it when you take the time to say hello. And yeah, if you like videos like this and you want to hang out again, please consider subscribing. I am very excited to make a lot more spring and summer videos ahead, so definitely keep your eyes out for my next video. And with that being said, my name is Bethany, and this is Joyful Habits, where we daydream and add a touch of whimsy to the ordinary. I'll see you all very soon, and until then, keep smiling. Bye, friends.